Fuck that thing. Fuck that thing. Fuck that thing. What's going on, everybody? My name is Player Zero, and welcome to How I Beat the Hardest Pokemon Violet Challenge by Jan from Pokemon Challenges. Honestly, I would go in this and just give my critique as a Nuzlocker, but this guy is like several leagues above me. I go to him for advice, but I'm just actually really interested in to see how he did this, because as we know, I lost my hardcore Nuzlocke to Iono, the streamer, ironically enough. And yeah, but I was also doing it blind, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I was just kind of winging it, which is not the best strategy. But like I said, I am very curious to see how he did this. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it out, and yeah, let's see how he did this.
So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are out, and what better way for me to celebrate than by trying to make the games impossibly hard on my first playthrough.
And I thought I was doing that, but no, Jan will always... He'll always do something bigger.
Classic hardcore Nuzlocke rules, pause now to read them, aren't going to cut it for an unmodded
All right, let's do
playthrough.
that.
Classic hardcore Nuzlocke rules, pause.
Okay, so you can only use the first encounter in each area, very standard. No over-leveling, that's also very normal for hardcore. And no items in battle. That's also a hardcore rule, but you can use held items. That's the thing you can actually do.
Pause now to read them, aren't going to cut it for an unmodded game though. I crave a bit more of a challenge. So, just like I did in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, I'll be resetting my game immediately as soon as only one of my Pokemon faints. I'm not kidding. Here's a clip of Attempt 2 in which I find a wild Pincurchin encounter, underestimate its attack, and lose my Skiploom.
Ooh.
I immediately proceed to...
Yeah, Skiploom, man. Not the greatest Pokemon, even though I've had success using a jump bluff before.
delete my save data and start the game over. In this run, you'll be seeing the painful ways this game forced me to replay its tutorial over and over.
Oh, and apologies, I got my cat here, Lucy. She might be interrupting from time to time. That's just who she is. She's an interrupter. If you want to meet her, here she is. Love you.
As well as what I believe to be the most broken starter in Nuzlocke history, what strategy I used to take on the Elite Four and champion in this game with a
I'm going to guess he's going to go with Fuecoco.
team of only 2 Pokemon, and me pushing this game to its absolute limits on my very first playthrough. On Pokemon Challenges, I'm probably the best Nuzlocker in the world, and this is the Pokemon Violet Deathless Hardcore Nuzlocke.
Alright, let's get into this. I'm very curious. So obviously you've seen that, you know, it took him more than once because he said he already lost his Skiploom in it. So I'm wondering how many times it actually did take him to beat it.
Begin attempt 1 and realize that Game Freak removed set mode?
Yes, I was so pissed about that because, yeah, honestly, it's just like, do you want to switch? No. But it's just so much more convenient, so much more realistic that, you know, they just send out the next Pokemon, and it makes it that much harder to play around crits and like moves that your opponents are about to use. So
Cool. Guess we'll be mashing B every time I kill an enemy Pokemon. It's fine.
It's exactly how I
like
felt.
The 5th time that Game Freak's done like a small thing like this. Just a few middle fingers. Anyway, I picked Quaxley because, like, no matter how much Game Freak fucks up, their character design team is just, they just can't miss, okay? Quaxley is so cute. My first encounter here is...
I'm more towards Sprigatito, but that's because I love cats. So, ducks are cool. I honestly would have just named Quaxley Donald. That'd be so generic and cringe.
Lechonk and... Okay, hold on. Let's slow down for one last time, I'm sorry. How do you even determine your first encounter in this game? In previous...
See, that's the problem I actually have, because honestly, in my next hardcore Nuzlocke of this, I'm probably going to call it a hardcore Terralock and just do a single terror raid battle for each area and count that as my encounter. And I can choose whatever type I want to go for, but whatever Pokemon is in it, I have to go for. I think that's absolutely fair. So I'm wondering how he did it, though.
In previous games, this was easy. You would simply walk into grass and receive a randomly rolled Pokemon. The whole challenge in Nuzlocke was that you had to adapt to the encounters the game randomly gave you. Now, they're all running around in the open. At first, I tried to just close my eyes and run into them, but...
Like, I thought about doing that, but I didn't think that would be a very good thing to do, because honestly, there are so many repeats.
With the game having set spawn locations for each Pokemon that felt not random enough. So what I started doing eventually was getting a list of every Pokemon that spawned in any given area, and spinning a wheel. This has the added benefit that the wheel sometimes lands on a rare Pokemon that I then have to go hunt for,
That's a fair way of doing it. I agree with that.
Which seems a little closer to the intended game experience, I guess. After mashing past 2 hours of cutscenes, getting my first few encounters, and playing that copy of Rocket League that I ordered on Wish, I quickly figure out a workup into wing attack setup with Quaxley to sweep Katie and get my first gym badge. I now head through this town, whose major landmark was very clearly animated by the company that made the highest grossing media franchise in history, to face Brassius. I set up Spike.
I can't wait for him just to absolutely dog on this game performance-wise.
To break his Ace Sudowoodo sturdy, but completely underestimate this Pokemon's bulk. Even with Sharp Beak and Workup, Quaxwell cannot kill here, and man are my other encounters dog water. I unfortunately have no outs and have to take my first death, and with it, a reset all the way to the intro cinematic. Seriously, this Sudowoodo is a menace. Grass Rock is actually a really vicious combination. Every type that can hit the Grass type Pseudo super effectively gets killed by Stab Rock Throw. This is a super well designed fight. At this point, I'm feeling like this game is extremely hard. I even make a Twitter.
I think, what did I do for this one? I can't even remember. My memory's so bad. But you think you would just go with, if you can, a special fire type, because Sudowoodo's special defense is shit. So, yeah, but I'm guessing he didn't have that opportunity, so.
Post about it, and people in chat are telling me that the late game gets even harder. Sounds like I'm in for a treat. Attempt 2 actually makes it all the way past Iono, but as you saw, dies to a random wild Pincurchin encounter because I wasn't properly leveled within my level cap. That's just about 10 hours down the drain, it's no big deal. Okay, attempt 3 Katie. I have no idea what came over me, but I somehow made 3 sloppy mistakes building this team. 1. Fuecoco is not holding the charcoal it's supposed to be holding, which leads to me missing the kill range on Teddy Ursa. 2. This Mareep isn't evolved, despite being at evolution level. 3. This Shinx is also not evolved. A Pokemon that were it evolved could easily switch into Katie's Teddy Ursa for a kill. My only out is to go for a Bite Flinch, which I do not get. This wipe was definitely deserved. Even the best Nuzlocker in the world has an off day sometimes, okay? By attempt 4, I finally figure out that if played correctly, Fuecoco basically sweeps the first 2 gyms on his own. Bronzor, another very important encounter.
Yeah, both special attackers will do extremely well against Brassius, and I can't remember what the other lady's name is. But yeah, just use a fire special attacker and you should be fine. I guess Fuecoco would be the smart way to go in this Nuzlocke. I'm so attached to Sprigatito, so I was kind of screwed on that front.
Helps him out here. Steel types do extremely well into the Sudowoodo, and I rolled one of the only early game ones. But damn, this fire starter is pretty good early game. I'm sure it's balanced by falling off in the late game, right? I'm currently foreshadowing. And now I'm lampshading. And now I'm letting this joke overstay its welcome. Before facing Iono, I spin the wheel for my East 2 encounter and find out that somehow this area has Mimikyu. Just chilling in the ruins. Yeah, this thing is my encounter. Let me help you understand why Mimikyu is so good in Nuzlocke with the help of today's sponsor, NordVPN. The most important thing in Mimikyu...
I would tell you, but he's gonna explain it. And I'll just go through the ad. You won't have to listen to it. Okay, so basically what he said, while he was explaining Mimikyu during the whole ad, but it protects you from one hit. So it's like kind of like well, what they used to do was like a Focus Sash in Disguise set, because in Gen 7, disguise was so broken, like you get one free hit without taking any damage, and then you could slap a focus sash on Mimikyu, and it was broken because it was guaranteed to at least take out something. But in Sword and Shield, they nerfed it to take about, I think, 10% damage. But still, it's still very, very good because you're taking minimal damage. But yeah, that's basically the entirety of what he said. And it gets good moves like Wood Hammer for good coverage.
Is another really well-designed fight. Her Mismagius has Levitate and...
Fuck that thing. Fuck that thing. Fuck that thing. Anyways, let's go.
Transforms into an electric type, making it have no weaknesses. I actually had to figure out a pretty clever setup here to ensure a clean kill on it. I know that the AI will always send out the ace last. Knowing this, I can use her weak Luxio to set up a situation in which Mimikyu can come out against Mismagius with its disguise still up. Remember, I'm not using switch mode. I use Knucklestack's Salt Cure on...
Yeah, I see Smack down there, so I'm wondering if he can use that on the Mismagius to get rid of its Levitate.
Luxio to do continuous damage every turn. I then time my switches perfectly so that Crocolore can come in and yawn. Luxio now falls asleep and is guaranteed to sleep on the last turn that Salt Cure leaves it alive. I can use this turn to get a safe switch in for Mimikyu. Now, was I really proud of this setup on stream, only then to realize I forgot to give Mimikyu a Prison Berry to deal with Confuse Ray? And did Mimikyu then hit itself, breaking its own disguise? Yeah, I did, but it was a really cool setup, okay?
Oh, I didn't know hitting itself broke its own disguise. That kind of sucks, because I don't think I've ever had that happen. Of all the showdowns, I've never had that happen. That's weird.
Luckily, I had a contingency plan with Oinkoloon, who can swap into a Hex and is bulky enough to tank hits from Mismagius. With the additional damage from normal type Terra, it can two-shot the X-Ghost type and get us a third gym badge.
Well done. Again, fuck that thing.
Something weird happens in this game at this point. All of the gym leader fights have been really well designed around their Terra Pokemon so far, but after Gym 3, it feels like Game Freak kind of gave up, or probably ran out of time.
Yeah, because I didn't see the water fight very hard in my playthrough. Like, I caught a Torkoal. If you can get a Torkoal, please get it. Because you can set up Sun, and then even then you can get a Shellos somewhere, and hopefully it has Storm Dream. There's several ways you can play around it. Sprigatito does really good here too. Hone Claws and Sea Bomb, and it takes it out so easy.
Combine that with us getting a lot more encounters and reaching critical mass to where we can cover a ton of options, the fights here start to get a lot easier. Like, this Rug Trio set in Gym 4 is just so trash. Is it just me?
It didn't have 4 moves. That is trash.
The Crabominable is still kind of a threat, to be fair. I can, however, get Mimikyu in with Disguise up again by switching the Cloyster, who will always bait a fighting type move from Kofu's Ace. Mimikyu can then come in on the fighting type move, which is immune to, and have Disguise still up. Woodhammer can get a completely safe and clean kill, and win us our 4th gym badge. Larry's gym puzzle and writing make him my 2nd favorite gym leader in the game, but his team is, again, extremely underwhelming. Mismagius with Levitate completely walls
his
game, but his team is...
Okay. Really? Facade and Aerial Ace on your Ace? That's it? Really? That is terrible. Yeah, that's absolute crap. Because Staraptor is very good, and you're eliminating its potential with that. That's stupid. Larry, what are you doing?
Again, extremely underwhelming. Mismagius with Levitate completely walls his Dunsparce, or Bronzong, or, well, any rock or steel type walls his Staraptor, and whatever his other Pokemon was so insignificant that I already have forgotten what it was and cannot be bothered to look it up.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that Pokemon existed as well, so I don't blame him.
My friends, this is where the run star is revealed. Enter Skeledirge. Oh boy, this thing is busted. Skeledirge's signature move in this game is Torch Song. It's a fire-type move that boosts special attack whenever used. How much base damage would a balanced version of this move have? 40? Hey, maybe 60. Charge Beam has 60, right? Charge Beam was only 50% to raise special attack and it wasn't perfectly accurate like Torch Song, but it's a signature move. It's balanced by its distribution, right? Torch Song is 80 base power. It's basically almost a flamethrower. After using it once, it becomes a Fire Blast in terms of power. Torch Song is also a sound-based move, so you can use it in combination with Throat Spray to get a +2 boost on its first use.
That's actually pretty broken.
In addition to that, Skeledirge has pretty crazy bulk and has a secondary ghost typing for stab shadow balls, as well as the handy immunities and resistances that come with it. If you're ever threatened by dark or other ghost type moves, you can simply click Terrestrialize, keep your ghost stab, and get rid of its weaknesses. Oh, and also give an additional 1/3 boost in power to your completely busted Torch Songs. Does this Pokemon have no downsides? Well, it has one. Its speed is very mediocre, a pretty important stat for a sweeper. The issue, however, is that this game grants you every tool possible to mitigate this. The Choice Scarf is already available for you to buy after you beat Larry and unlock Crocolore's evolution via the next level cap. Additionally, you get the power items for EV grinding extremely early, as well as unlocking bottle caps.
Yeah, you can get them right at the beginning of the game. Not all of them at once, but you can get them right at the beginning of the game. It is so busted. You can do that. I don't know. I wanted to, but I thought it'd be too easy.
Max out your IVs, and mints to change your nature after Gym 6.
Where'd you get the bottle caps? I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look up that.
A max EV, IV, and plus speed nature Skeledirge can be obtained within about 30 minutes after getting the 6th badge. Because enemies don't have speed EVs in this game, Skeledirge's one weakness is completely eliminated. Gym 6 is a double battle and has this interesting mechanic where you and the gym leader can get buffs from the crowd. You get offensive boosts for killing a Pokemon and Omni boosts for terrestrializing. You can stack these in your
Terrestrializing gives you an Omni boost. So see, I haven't gotten this far. This is amazing. This is actually a lot of spoilers for myself.
favor extremely quickly, however. Rhyme will only terrestrialize her last Pokemon and the boost doesn't come in until the end of the turn, so by the time she makes any use of the gimmick, you've already stacked Skeledirge to max special attack and are annihilating her team. Mabostiff and Bronzong give us an easy time in Tulip's Psychic Gym, and the trend of the gyms not really having good coverage continues. Also, wow, this gym puzzle is shit. I will say, the Bronzong encounter is really nice here. That Florges is probably a threat otherwise. Gym 8 is more of the same. Skeledirge just sweeps by clicking Torch Song, and holy fucking femboy, I did not think a Pokemon game would make me feel this bisexual. After hearing the extremely repetitive, but honestly really cute Team Star storyline.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop when I first saw him. It was I'm like, oh, she's pretty. No, that's a guy, dude. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good. I think it was a good decision. It's apparently kind of iffy character, personality-wise, but I don't know. I'll have to judge for myself.
Seriously, how is every character in this plotline an LGBTQ icon? And defeating the rest of the Titans, it was time for the Elite Four. The madness does not end, though. At this point in the run, I am bloodthirsty. Planning for the Pokemon League, I spot something incredible.
Doesn't Scarf Croc sweep like most of this? I feel like, chat, I feel like we should be able to set up a Cloyster sweep. Wait, 2 Pokemon Elite Four?
White Herb Shell Smash Cloyster sweeps 3 Elite Four members here. Skeledirge sweeps the remaining one, Poppy, whose ace Pokemon curiously looks exactly like a character from League of Legends, who is also named Poppy.
Really? That's a bit sus, Game Freak. I don't play League of Legends, but that's pretty sus.
Wait, Cassiopeia? LP? No, the Rift is calling. No, I can't. Let me go, please, I have to finish the script. No, I have to finish this video, please let me. Drunk on my own hubris, I challenge the champion Gita, still with only 2 Pokemon in my party. I go for the Throat Spray Torch Song and realize I've made a huge mistake. Espathra has a new ability called Opportunist, and using it, it just copied my +2 special attack. I am in crit range.
No!
I'll be honest, this was incredibly careless and probably should
I was scared for him.
have cost me the fight, but I'm still in huge trouble. Gita's Veluza has Aqua Jet. I run the calculations to see if my run is over and...
Chat, max roll Aqua Jet? 62. He didn't go for it. macht's nochmal spannend am Ende. Nice.
It's unbelievable and a little bit
Yeah, like why didn't the AI go for Aqua Jet? You'd think it at this point in the game it starts to play smarter. That is so weird.
unfair how lucky I got here. I complete the sweep with Skeledirge and Blaze and earn my champion title. The last part of the game is, unfortunately, still extremely easy. The only team that has some sizable threats is the final battle with Nemona and the very last battle of the game. But at least for Nemona, I just have access to too many broken tools at this point. A Heracross I caught in the northern province and then EV trained outspeeds and one-shots Nemona's entire team. The dude with the Futurama dog has a bit of a joke of a team, but I do appreciate that all of his Pokemon except the dog are food themed. Penny is legit just evolutions with quick attack, and Clavel gets, you guessed it, swept by Skeledirge. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a huge cynic, but this next part of the game is actually insanely cool. It's by far the most well-executed final section of any Pokemon game ever made, and that's mostly in thanks to the absolutely phenomenal writing throughout the game. Both the original writers and the localization team blew all of my expectations for a Pokemon game out of the water. This section is so well written that I'm going to give you something I normally super don't give a fuck about, a spoiler warning. If you haven't...
Okay, take this. I'm going to put a spoiler warning before this anyway, but take this opportunity if you don't want to be spoiled to just jump out.
yet played the game and you feel like you might enjoy it, it might benefit you to tune out now and go play it yourself. The buggy, laggy, and incredibly ugly disaster of a game that comes before this section almost makes this worth it. Alright, they're gone, guys. Jesus, this game looks like shit. Seriously, look at this grass texture in the crater. Is this Banjo-Kazooie? What the fuck is going on? Am I losing my mind? Do you guys really think this is acceptable? This section would have been the coolest shit in any Pokemon game ever if the developers had actually been able to optimize their game for the console they were hired to make it for. Jesus! Anyway, the writing is really cool. This is an amazing idea for a final battle, the AI that goes rogue. It's so interesting because this is the first Pokemon game ever that has no villains. Anyway, more on that in my full review of the game, coming soon. Turo leads with a Pokemon 4 times weak to Skeledirge's Earth Power, and I immediately get a one-hit KO. The reason I'm leading Skeledirge here is because I actually know how the switch in AI works already. It's the same one they've been using since Gen 5. AI simply looks at which of its Pokemon has the highest base power moves. It considers type effectiveness, but not stab. Iron Barb's Earthquake and Stone Edge are the most damage for Skeledirge here, and it gets sent in next, scoring me a clean double kill with a second Earth Power on a 4 times weak Pokemon. Next up is Iron Jugulus, and holy shit, why have I been streaming for 22 hours at this point? Anyway, Thick Fat Azumarill with an Assault Vest can 1v1 this, and the Rogue AI wants me to catch these Iron Hands next. Among Us resists the Electric Fighting Stab, however, and can send the...
I honestly think some of these future designs are... Some of them are but some of them are really cool, like the Tyranitar. That was really cool.
Imposter all the way to Medbay with a degenerate power.
And it's a robot. How do you poison a robot? But I don't know. I think all these should be steel type for some reason.
Strat. Iron Bundle has my entire team on its naughty list, but Ampharos will come in to be our Grinch and zap Santa Claus back into non-existence. For this final turn, Turo plays Polymerization, sending Gardevoir and Gallade from his hand to the graveyard, and special summoning Iron Valiant from his extra deck.
Thank you. I was hoping a Yu-Gi-Oh joke would come in with that one. That was so dope.
But as was so often the case in this run, Bronzong can tank this monster of a Pokemon. Unfortunately, the second Heavy Slam leaves Turo's ace alive with a sliver of health, but we can avoid the final crit chance of the game by switching to Mimikyu and checkmating with Shadow Sneak. No death, hardcore Nuzlocke. Oh! And that was the deathless
Nice
hardcore
job.
Nuzlocke of Pokemon Violet. Honestly, I think this...
Great job, Jan. I had no doubt you'd figure it out. And yeah, 4 attempts, yeah, that was really good.
one actually has the potential to be really interesting if you were to ban EVs, Nature Mints, Bottle Caps, Setup Moves, the Fuecoco line, Annihilate, Palafin, Early Game Flamigo, Terrestrializing, and using the bathroom for the entire duration of the run. Maybe give it a try with those rules and let me know how you did. Anyway, Ed Sheeran is a talentless hack that has done irreparable damage to pop music forever. This game plays like a
Ooh, Some people are going to be mad at that.
Alpha release, almost all the new Pokemon are amazing, and the nickname theme this run was things not to put up your butt, so go back through the video.
Salt, slinky glue, yeah, skewer teeth rags. That's amazing. Oh my goodness.
And tell me in the comments which nickname was your favorite.
Oh, I'd have to go back and look at them all. Okay, so that was How I Beat the Hardest Pokemon Violet Challenge by Jan from Pokemon Challenges. That was amazing. Like I said, Jan is, to me, the GOAT when it comes to Nuzlocking. He's better than anyone I've seen. So he's the person I always go to for information, and if I'm stuck, and he's usually very helpful. That's why he does like reviews. I watch his reactions, because then that's how I learned how to do Nuzlocks, or just do them better. Like, I'm still not perfect. I still made mistakes. I still lost to Iono's fucking Miss Magius. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that reaction. If you would, go subscribe to Jan and give it a like. And yeah, subscribe to this channel. Like the video, share it out if you want. Oh no, I'm not your mother. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. See ya.